little double broadcast here today on both the Down to Earth channel and the Kristian Harloff channel here today. Yes, we would do our normal show that we do on the Kristian Harloff channel as well, little later on. But there was some news, and there was a lot of we used to do quite a few UAP based material on this channel, so we're doing a double broadcast. We did it once for the hearing, so we're doing it here today. The documents that were promised from the White House about UAP, about starting the disclosure process, has begun. Question is, was there anything really of note in the first wave? And was that to be expected, or is this much ado about nothing? It's going to be myself and Attack Peter on the show here today for Down to Earth on the double broadcast. So thanks for joining us. Let's get to it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the show. Excited to have you on it, or be here with me.
Yo,
we're joined by our good friend Peter here. Is abrupt as all. It's the only thing I can do in this StreamYard. Anyway, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the show, Peter. I haven't seen you in a while.
Hey man, thanks for having me back. It's been a lot going on, and both of us have such busy schedules, but I'm glad to make time, especially for a big news day.
It is. I mean, look, here's the thing for people who don't know, and I already see in the comments, especially because like the reason why I did the crossover, there rightfully so, there are a lot of skeptical people, and you and I talk about this all of the time. So there are people who just write, there's the standard, oh, it's man-made, it's man-made. You don't know shit yet. You don't just you can say I believe it is. It could be, in the same way that you can't definitively say that's something from another planet. That's something you can't say that yet, because all these files haven't come out. It's the definitive thing that always drives me nuts, or the definitive. That's a balloon. Stick the balloon up your ass, McWest. But this is going to be interesting to see what we think here, because did you see Burchett on Rogan? Okay, so he essentially said the same thing, right? He said, "Look, I'm getting briefed. There's going to be some stuff that comes out. I don't expect them to really do much yet, because I don't have faith in a lot of the government. I don't have faith that they've been protecting this stuff long enough. They're going to find a way to protect it again." Jeremy Corbell, when he was announcing that these things were coming out, he said essentially the same thing. He said, look, it's good that they're starting. It doesn't seem there's going to be like massive things that come out in the first wave, but it is a good start. So I guess the first thing I ask you is, you went through the files. Is there anything of note that you go, oh, wait, this is big. This is going to start to turn some people over, or is it a good start, or is this much ado about nothing? Where do you stand right now?
I quickly went through them. I only saw like a handful of pictures. I didn't see the 47 pictures. If I missed it, I saw like maybe 10 or 12 pictures in that on the war.gov site, which, by the way, the alien.gov site is not even working. It's like,
this doesn't even work. Oh, okay, perfect.
Well, for me, it like gives me a warning, like you're about to get a virus if you go into this website.
Perfect.
It's a mess, dude. But there was nothing I saw that was too impressive. It's all like more of the same. I guess if you're not following this at all, the takeaway could be like, oh, this is what the takeaway could be. The government is saying officially that these images represent, or are considered legitimate images of literally unidentified, aerial phenomena, flying objects, whatever, So I guess there's that, but, and not to get political, I just feel like, and no matter what, side of the aisle you land on, if we're still doing that, it seems like you got to be careful where the source of the information is. I sent you the link to that Tim Dillon video where he kind of breaks it down, and to sum it up quickly, it's just like, the president is a TV guy. He gets the idea of attention, economy. Yeah. And I'm not saying he's in charge with how it's disseminated. Maybe someone else is advising it. You could say that, on the cynical side, that like, hey, drip it out, so we got something to talk about every week in case we want to change the narrative of the news cycle. And the more like sincere side, you could say, hey, if there is something heavy to come out at some point, maybe you don't do it all at once. Maybe we kind of just do the boiling frogs thing over the course of a week, which you could argue is what's been happening over the last couple of years.
Right.
And maybe it lines up with that soul chart we used to talk about. But at least in this case, you have a sense that maybe it's just like, hey, let's just continue that strategy over the microcosm of a few weeks or whatever.
There also might be a situation where they're just like, there's only, you know, as Burchett said, there's people who know how to block this stuff and know how to do it. And it's like I said yesterday on my video, I'm like, look, if you know, it's not like they just said, hey, we're disclosing everything, go now, and nobody had time to prepare. They've been talking about this now for over a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it was. So if people, again, hypothetically, were able to protect these secrets for as long as they were, whatever it might be, whatever you believe it could be, technology from another country, technology from us, whatever it might be that they don't want out there, they could easily say, okay, look, they are going to be going after this side. Give them that. Give them that. They can release that. That's going to be blurry footage. That's going to go nowhere in the public anyway. No one's going to say anything. Mick West will call it a balloon. These things, don't worry about it. There's nothing in there that's going to say, you know, the gig is up, or the jig is up, whatever they say. I always say the gig.
The gif and jib,
whatever. So, but either way, that's the thing to me that it was always like when we used to talk about it, we're like, oh, we know where these things are, and we know where they are right now, and we're gonna get them in 3 months from now. And then and then they go 3 months, and it's like, oh, the warehouse is empty. Well, no shit.
I know that's like, you know, I try to find analogs in my own personal, like, professional life to what I'm seeing happening when I see these, cycles. And Kristian, I bet you could, like, relate to this.
Yeah.
You know, in even in the entertainment industry, right? Like, if someone's going to announce something, a trailer for a movie, or in my case, even if you post a picture relating to someone else's IP on an official site, there are so many layers of clearance that have to get signed off on. And there's always somebody who says, that's not the lighting we agreed on, or you forgot this legal line. So I can only imagine that if you're talking about something at this level, there would be layers upon layers of bureaucracy, right? My question is always like, is that maybe where the leaks come from, those bureaucracy layers, or is it more like lawyers that are going through, hey, be careful if you release this because this shows this in the background, or you know what I mean?
Sure,
so
yeah, 100%. There's absolutely, you're going to run into those problems.
Yeah.
What can be declassified, what can't be.
I can see that.
Yeah. So look, what I want to do is the first thing we're going to play a couple of different things or read a couple of different things. But the first thing is there are some outlets already covering this in the news. And so here's one. I guess this one's from Fox News. So let me play this one.
These dorks. They're saying no audio, Kristian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're getting no audio on it?
No, they can't hear it either.
Oh,
hey, Pete.
All right. All right, hold on. How about now? Can they hear it now? Tell me. Can you guys hear it now? Peter, can they hear it now? Can they hear it now?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Okay. Well, I don't know why StreamYard's doing it. I can hear it just fine.
I would just say go into those files, because like that they don't really say anything in these clips now. Like, and that's what's really funny. I watched that clip this morning on Fox News, and it was just saying like, this is it. There's going to be something big. This is part of the beginning of a series of weeks of leaks. So they're even like couching it and like, hey, this is going to be little by little.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Keep going as I'm looking at
Yeah. And so, so the clip was kind of like a nothing burger, but it's I always think of any of these cable news channels as being delivered to my parents' generation, who are probably not following this stuff, because I don't know if anybody in our age group watches that stuff. So maybe that's the strategy there. Like, hey, folks, you may not have heard about this, but the government is starting to release files, and group of these of files. And you can go to this website and start to see them for yourself. It's very exciting. Again, if I'm trying to put a positive spin on it, it would be that here is the government officially acknowledging it, which again, like, I don't know, man, if you go back 10, 15 years, that's crazy in and of itself. But in this case, like if you're watching the show, at least, you're very caught up. And so this might be a nothing burger still for us. I guess I'm hoping for the day where we get to the point where even people like us who follow this regularly are also excited.
Yeah. Look, this is I want to go to one of the, like, I think that who was it? I think Red Panda Koala.
Yeah.
He's reposted this. So this is from the Department of War that actually,
man, he's on it, bro.
Yeah, he's on it. So let me cover this here. So give me a second.
There you are.
I'm gonna read the actual thing from the Department of War here. So give me 1 second. Please, thank you for dealing with this stuff too, because it's a pain in the ass. Okay. Today, the Department of War announced the initial release of the new never before seen files on UAP as part of the Presidential Unsealing and Reporting System for UAP Encounters. This interagency effort includes the White House, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, the Department of Energy, the DOW's all-domain, the freaking arrow, which hopefully eventually disbanded, National Aeronautics and Space Administration, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and additional components of the U.S. intelligence agencies. Collection will be housed on war.gov, yada, yada, yada. Release follows the direction of Trump to begin the process of identifying and declassifying government files related to UAP in the interest of total transparency. Let's see. So, Pete, so they're going full on here, and this is kind of everybody who is involved in this in general. But I don't know. This is just the announcement of it up top from what I'm seeing there too. The actual, what are some of the other things that you saw that we should be,
I saw a series of images. I think if you go to war.gov, it showed there's actual images to look at and some video clips. Again, like, I'm not saying this is nothing. I'm actually trying to look at the bright side of it, which is hopefully this is going to be like a serialized release. For some reason, I'm also not naive to the fact that I think the timing of this is always something to consider.
Sure.
But both things can be true. You know what I mean? Like, I really do think if you think that the government is not to be trusted, well, part of that could be, hey, let's release some crazy stuff that is sure to take the eye off of some things we don't want the focus to be on, whether it's war, whether it's Epstein, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I think you can hold both things. You could have a situation where it's like bittersweet, like finally we're getting to talk about this topic in a legitimate way where people can't say that, the government's denying that this is real. Sure. So you're just a Looney Tune for talking about it.
I think that's an important point. I think the other thing that is inevitable, and I already see it, and it's such a sheep mentality for people. It's a nothing burger. It's a nothing burger. It's a nothing burger. It's a sheep mentality, because the thing is right away, if this is it, if they close this off and say, this is it, this is all we have, then it's a nothing burger. It's like the way that the last hearing, that not the last one, but the one before that was like, that was absolutely, there was nothing there. It's the same shit over and over again. To me, the reason why this is encouraging is because they said they're going to release stuff, and they did. And as you said, they make it more serious, that people are actually talking about it and not laughing. Yes. And maybe now when people and talk show hosts bring it up, and maybe the audience will, maybe the laughter will get a little lower now, because that's still happening. Like, well, they talked about UFOs. It's like,
you've been saying it. Like, the one thing that needs to happen is that this needs to be covered on mainstream news, no matter whether or not people think mainstream news has credibility is not the point. The point is it needs to get to the point where it's being discussed in a mainstream environment. So it's not, like you say, a fringe topic. So that is a win. If you actually care about disclosure in any real way, right? Not like as an issue to dunk on someone with.
If people are talking about it, that's the whole point of it. Yeah, there's nothing. I don't. Now, if you're going to ask me and people goes, do you think there was enough in there to convince people that there's either, people are interdimensional traveling or there's alien life? No. If that's what you're calling it, sure. Then then I agree with you. But see, this guy says, LOL is not easy to take an L. Who took the L on that one? Was that now? I don't know who he's talking about. Is he talking about necessarily? Is he talking about people who think, oh, nothing's coming out, or is he thinking, or people going, oh yeah, there's stuff that is coming out. There's no one won or lost in this one.
I really don't think we should. Yeah, honestly, guys, if you're watching this, I really don't think we should keep it in that conversation. At the end of the day, look, I'll say this. I think that if there's ever a battle, it's a battle of working class people and elite people, elite class. It's a 100%. Class war. And if you're telling me that you think the UFO topic can be used as a weapon in a class war, I agree. I think it could be.
Yeah, but that's what people don't understand is that you and I are not saying, look, that's it. They proved it. They didn't prove shit. They didn't prove anything.
No.
Because Luna was asked about it. Rep Luna was asked on her Twitter, and they said something along the lines like, look, and they're right. Whoever wrote this, they said, there's got to be stuff in here eventually. Out of all of this dump that comes out, there's got to be something that says, hey, this is game changing. You have convinced us, or it's going to be embarrassing that they're going down this, because I equate it to like what they did with the JFK files. It's like, oh, just all these big JFK files going, we're going to find out. We didn't find out anything.
Right.
You didn't find out anything. You don't know if people worked alone. You still have the people. If you thought JFK was taken out by Lee Harvey Oswald, by the end of that, you still thought that. And if you thought that it was a conspiracy with the CIA, you still thought that. There was nothing in there in those files. Oh, here, that's what we're going on first. And then the Epstein files, which still, you can't release those. And people are, because of the amount of people that are going to get in trouble and other things, and the sources that are being protected. Like, if they ain't releasing that stuff, like you said earlier, there is an absolute reason why that they are going to trickle out stuff like this. And as that person said to Luna, there has to be stuff that comes out. And like the person mentioned, like, what about the X amount of videos that you guys have talked about? And she said, and I think people keep mentioning this thing, what about the 4K videos? What about that? It ain't coming out in the first dump. And then she said, we have made a request that in the initial dumps, that's where that stuff is going to come out, the stuff that we have seen.
Right.
That is going to be crucial, because if the second or third or fourth are similar to this, people are going to start losing interest quick.
Yeah, I think and if you're looking for it, I think I found the link on X, maybe Joe Murgia or someone had it, where I linked me directly to, because I just went to war.gov and it wasn't like on the main page where you think it'd be, but there is a link to it. Maybe someone in the chat could put it and we could find it faster. But I try to put myself, and I don't know if I'm capable of doing this, but I try to put myself in the mindset. If I was in a situation,
I see it. Yeah, go ahead.
You see it? Okay. If I was in a situation where I wanted to make someone talk about one issue and less about another issue, right? If I was, let's just be literal. If I was trying to distract from the conversation about the war in Iran, that's, in an election year, by the way, it doesn't matter where you fall politically. That's a strategical conversation, right? Or if I wanted to distract from Epstein files or that weird Melania speech that happened, I need something that's really good, because those are really intense topics. Those are really important things that people are going to want to talk about, no matter how you think about them. Yeah. So if I got this UFO thing, and if I know that let's say that someone said, hey, you want to disclose some stuff? You can release these photos. You can release these videos. They're already on the internet. Right. No one seems to be freaking out. Release them. But that's all you're going to get. And if you think you're going to walk some gray on the White House lawn, it ain't happening. Okay, so this is what you got. So what would you do? You would say, shit, okay, that's like I got 200 videos. I got, X amount of months till the election. I got to spread this out because every time we drop them, we have a chance of this being a conversation. Glenn Greenwald talked about this when it came to the WikiLeaks thing. They intentionally did not just leak everything. You remember that time? Yeah. They intentionally did not just leak everything at once. They did this weekly WikiLeaks drop so that there was time to focus on what was happening. Yeah. So you could say that strategy was very effective. It was. Maybe that's the approach for this. And by the way, I'm saying that from a cynical standpoint, from the standpoint of distracting people. Now, grass is greener argument. I saw someone write this. I don't know who it was, so I apologize, on Twitter. Like, hey, even this like non-exciting release day is leverage for people who want to continue the conversation and push for more disclosure, because now you're not starting from zero.
Right.
You're starting from, hey, federal government, you admit that there's stuff in the sky we don't understand. Here are people that are backing you up and agreeing with you with more information. We need to investigate this stuff seriously. And now that people, regular Joe public has seen it on their mainstream channels, they're going to be like, yeah, what the hell? So it's different in that regard. I'm not saying it's tomorrow. I'm just saying it's different.
Yeah, no, and I think, look, and as you said, and as we said, and as we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, you look at when you go back in time and just go back even before 2023, right? The conversation in 2022 was much different than the conversation of 2026, right? There are more people who are talking about it. There are more people who, in general, have been asking more questions. And as we said, you could absolutely look and say, I don't know what the hell this is. They have not shown anything of note yet to make me say, okay, that's what I think it is yet, because you haven't done in these files yet. But I think releasing information in general, I don't disagree with you at all, that I think that there's a reason and a strategy for saying, hey, well, let's release this now. Let's hope that the mainstream media runs with this as the lead story, as opposed to how, once again, we haven't hit negotiations with Iran. Gas prices are going up. Let's get them away from that. Let's have them start talking about, oh, are aliens real? I can understand people saying, oh, well, that's clearly a distraction tactic. And the answer is very well might be. Doesn't mean that the topic itself isn't real, isn't legit. It just means when they're using it, why they're using it. And that's government in general, right? What can we talk about right now that can either further our agenda, divert attention away from what we need to do, and those types of things. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that I want to go over the videos you mentioned with Joe, what he had. So let me show these. First, I'll bring up the UFO Joe. And he said, this one's pretty cool. This is the undisclosed location. This is from Arrow, actually did this. Okay, well, that makes me nervous in general, that they're the ones that allowed this to come out. But here's the video. There's no sound on it anyway. So you can see, again, this is the problem, what I was worried about, like videos like this.
Exactly. But they said they can't hear me when I'm off screen, just FYI.
Okay, so they can't hear you, period. That's which is fine for this one, and I guess it's because of the story one. That's why, which is fine. If they can hear me, that's okay. And so you see this right now, and this thing's moving around, and it's kind of zipping back and forth. You don't know what the hell it is. I mean, there's no doubt about it. That's like, what is that? But
oh, they said they can hear me. So I will say, this reminds me of the Bledsoe stuff.
Crazy. Look at that.
It's cool. I mean, look, could you like explain that away? Maybe if you're a skeptic, you could say, oh yeah, you got to. I mean, first of all, you could say it's all AI stuff, right? Now that's the easy argument, or like an After Effects. Yeah, I guess if that's the case, you could discuss it. It is really rad, that little trail that it just had.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, look at that. I mean, but there's, like you said, you can easily look at that, and I'm sure already in the comments we're getting this. Like, oh, that's this, that's that, that's swamp gas, that's this. That's the problem with videos like this.
Yeah,
it always will be. Yeah, but that's always will be the issue.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That
1,000%. It'll always be the issue. Is that if with videos, like no matter what, even they're zipping around, they're doing interesting things, they're bouncing off things. It does not matter. And here's the other thing. You and I have talked about this a million times over. A million times over.
Mhm.
At this point, if someone's driving and I get a full shot of a UFO and two aliens come out and say, "Hey, where is the nearest In-N-Out burger?" And I get that on there, immediately they go, "That's AI." Can
I
be
know.
real.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
It is really weird, man. Like, it is a weird thing this time that we're in, because it's nothing is now we're at a point where, and I'm saying this about me, who I believe there is another non-human life, whether it's on this planet, an ultra-terrestrial, an extraterrestrial, whatever. I believe. I just have that gut feeling, right?
Yeah.
Even me, because I know I believe, and I'm looking for confirmation, I've become so skeptical that everything I see, is some kind of manipulation, whether it's like even the Bloodstone stuff, I think is really interesting and cool. And he is very believable when I hear him talk. And this idea that like other people are watching him summon stuff that looks like what you just showed is super interesting. I just don't know what to make of it anymore. And I think we've gotten to the point where you can't make a determination based on anything you see, unfortunately.
It's so true. Unless it's, I mean, like, look, the other thing that people were always hoping to get, and I think that when you think about disclosure or whatever this thing is, in your mind, you're picturing Bill Pullman walking up and saying, "Hey, here's the deal," and you're hoping that it's not to the Independence Day level of "here's the deal," but you're hoping a president is going to step up and say, "This is the deal. We are not alone. Here's the reason. Here are all the things that happen." It ain't going to happen like that.
Well, did you see the Obama interview with Colbert yesterday?
Yeah, I talked about that. But let me take a quick break.
Okay.
And I want to let people know that also what we're going to do is just going to take a quick break. And when I get back, I really want people to, if you want to, this is different because we're on both channels here and we're not normally live on the on the DTE channel. So if you guys want to ask any, like we already saw a super chat come in. If there's any questions you super chat want to super chat in that we can take towards the end, feel free. If not, just as good. But normally we don't really do live shows for DTE. So if you want to throw any questions into me and Peter, go ahead and put those in there now. We'll read them by the end of the show. But that being said, I do have a sponsor here today that I want to bring up real quick. We'll bring it back in once we're done. Talked about Rugiet. Yep, make jokes. Rugiet's the best. Love them. Tell you about them. Here it is. Life comes at you fast, man. When you're busy, and things just kind of land when you're not expecting it, and it all happens like at once. Doesn't matter if it's work, relationships, everything else that you have on your plate. You want to know that you can show up when it counts, and that includes the bedroom, everybody. Things aren't working the way that you used to. You don't have to accept it. Rugiet, they have treatments that can help you get hard, stay hard as long as you want. Where there's occasional trouble or something that's been building for a while, their doctors work with you to find what fits your body. Their best-selling treatment, which is Rugiet Ready, it combines 3 clinically proven ingredients in one minty dose that dissolves right under your tongue. It increases blood flow and primes your brain for arousal, so you're ready physically and mentally. Most men are good to go in about 15 minutes, with effects lasting up to 36 hours. Timing is your issue. Rugiet has Go Long, which is a 2-in-1 treatment that helps you get hard, stay in control when you finish. Over 400,000 men have already made that switch to Rugiet. Getting started is very simple. Rugiet connects you with a board-certified doctor online, and treatment ships discreetly to your door. You head on over to Rugiet.com/Kristian. You will get 15% off of your ED treatment. That is RUGIET.com/Kristian for 15% off. Rugiet, performance medicine for men. Thank you to Rugiet. Again, check the links in the description for both channels. If you want to help out the show, you want to help us in general, that's how you do it. Keep us going. Peter, I saw that you shot that a message. Can you just send me those pictures? Just text them to me or whatever too, and then I'll run them through. Yeah, because look, there. Oh, you just sent me a couple of those, but there's something else that we were talking about Arrow, and I want to talk about the Sean Kirkpatrick stuff, and you were talking about Obama. So we have those things that we'll definitely be discussing. But let me bring up what you just sent me here. Okay, let's see. This
is the one that I thought was the most, at least it's definitely new to me. I haven't seen it, but it also looks so fake, dude.
Right.
Like now, Having said that, it looks fake in a way that if it was real, I should be blown away by the visual weirdness of it.
Okay.
But I don't know, man. You tell me when you see that one.
Let me see. Hold on.
Disclose.tv, I guess, is who has it. Yeah, look at that.
All right, hold on. Bring it
Or
up.
disclose.
Oh, sorry. All right, there it is. So I don't know why it's upside down.
No, it looks good on my end.
Oh, it looks upside down to me. I don't know why. So, Luke, if you're able to change the mirror on that, hopefully. But it's either way. It looks upside down. How's that upside down? Who knows? It doesn't look upside down to you?
No, it reminds me of that Charlie Sheen movie where he's doing the ad for the deodorant upside down. Was it Major League?
Yeah, upside down. Right. So look. So that's number 2. Department of War. Yeah, this one here is one you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, man. Like, can I bring that up? Yeah.
What am I looking at?
It looks.
That looks like Photoshop day one, but
so Photoshop. It looks so Photoshop.
So that's another weird thing. So either we're looking at something like really wild, but dude, I don't know. That looks like Photoshop day one. Yeah. And if
that picture was in the files.
That was part of a link on war.gov that I was sent to on X where I saw the other shots. Like
that's the one you lead with. If you know that's real, who took that?
If that's real, that's the craziest photo of all time.
But it looks fake. Someone just right. That looks fake as F. 100%. That looks.
Yeah. Okay. Tokyo Toy Bonsai. What's up, dude? He says it's a rendered graphic. It says in the description. Okay.
It's rendered. Okay. All right. That makes
more sense.
Okay.
All right.
Rendered for what? For what people saw?
I guess. But what are we doing?
Yeah. It's like, well, this is what they were. You're right.
Lab rendered drawing. Okay.
So it was a
all
lab.
All right. Everybody relax. We're gonna read.
But that's good to know, and that's
what we're doing.
That's why we're here together. So who's this? Is this? Now wait a minute.
Thank God, because I saw that this morning. I'm like, please God, tell me they're not trying to tell me that's real.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, for people who are brand new to my channel, I mean, because I know DT, I don't go live a lot. I don't put up with dick pics. So for me, it's like I'm all for conversation. You start being a dick bag, then I throw you the fuck out. I don't care. Go to a different channel. I don't give a shit. I'm not in here for like, oh, I need you to catch up to so and so's views. Suck my balls and talk about it on Tuesday. I don't care. I don't care. Like that's you talk to my friend with respect. That's and you can have you don't have to agree with us. You don't have to agree, but have conversations. I'll throw you the fuck out. It's my store. You don't come in with your dick.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
All right. I sent you Ryan Graves an hour ago posted the link that I clicked on this morning. And it is a war.gov link.
Okay.
It's exactly what I saw this morning. So it's like, it seems like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 15 or so slides or videos.
Okay. So this is what the picture, the one that okay. I see.
It's got the weird one we just looked at, but it's got other stuff too. So this is what I assume is today's drop. Let's just say it that way.
All right. Today's drop. That's fine. All right. So let's do this. Make sure you got your audio up. I'm going to bring up this, make sure we can see this. Okay. This is what we're talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, and I guess you can go to each slide over here. All right. So why don't you break us down and tell us what we're looking. Oh, there's that one. So this is that rendered one.
That's what I'm saying. So this is obviously the one I stopped at.
Right.
Okay. This is what I'm talking about. The rest of these aren't going to win anybody over, in my opinion.
We'll go from here.
Yeah.
Start from there. All right.
So again, I feel it's almost crazy to talk about something like this. What are we going to say? It says there's a description at the bottom. It says unresolved UAP report, Indo-PACOM. So U.S. Indo-Pacific Command reported UAP that resembles a football, and then it's covered by the lower third.
Right.
But a football something. I imagine football shape something. Or let me see. I can probably pull it up on my end too.
Someone also said that you can finish the slides and then there's videos. Below. Okay. Have you looked at the videos also? I
looked at some of them.
Okay.
Right. Again, I didn't have my mind blown, but let me see. I want to see if I can read this. Can you read what's underneath the lower third?
I want to get rid of my lower third. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me get rid of that real quick.
This guy with branding. There you go.
I know. That's Luke's fault. I blame everything.
I'm kidding.
No, me too.
Okay. Go back to the other one real quick.
Back to that. All right. That one?
Yeah, here we go. Okay, football shaped body near Japan. All right.
Oh,
so if we're just being like objective and just looking at what we're looking at, this is assumingly this is what they have in their files as stuff. Hey, yeah, we've seen some weird stuff. We don't know what it is either.
Right.
And here is some of that stuff. Now, I believe they have way more, but okay, we're looking at what we're looking at. So it says that they're claiming this is a football shaped body.
And someone could make the argument, and you can't really fault them for it, saying, well, what is that? I don't know what that is.
It looks like a booger on a lens.
Right.
I'm sorry. And I want to believe, guys.
No, you could tell me that somebody like, spit on a thing.
Yeah.
Or it's like, that's like something in a lab.
Kristian, can you imagine, dude, if like there's a at least one in this tranche that is literally that, and they're like, okay, put one booger, fine, go ahead.
Right.
You know,
and see people believe it. I know that's the problem. So, okay, so that one is, that's what they say that one is. Again, this is the next one. U.S. UAP in North America in 2026. Again, this is not that you can't.
Can you zoom in on that one?
Yes.
It just looks like, again, I don't know what I'm even looking at. I'm trying to get up in there.
Right. I guess that right there, that light right there.
Is that the one? Okay, that makes more sense. I was like looking at the reticle. I'm like, that's nothing.
If I'm looking at the middle, that's nothing. But maybe
okay,
it's the right thing that could be.
You know, again, like we're looking at Pong. It could be like
it could be anything. So then this one again, I feel like we've seen this one before. This is right.
Infrared still image captured of unidentified object over Western United States.
Same type of thing.
Yeah.
Same type of thing.
Yeah. Western United States.
Okay.
This one in the same frame as a helicopter, right? Is what we're looking at below, right? That little black dot.
Oh. Because it looks like a helicopter. So it is a helicopter. Yeah, right there. I see.
I feel like this kind of stuff would be more compelling as video if they had it, but even then,
but again, it's the same. It's infrared stuff. Yeah. It looks like Atari.
Dude, it looks like when you're like in science class and they show you some video from 1964 of like how, like, I don't know, cells form.
Yes, I can understand 1,000% how when you look at these files but this is, dude, I said this yesterday on my video. I said, I guarantee you in these files what you're going to get are more things of people going, well, those are dots. That's blurry video. That's this, that's that. That's what you're going to get in this first wave. You cannot, in the same way that we talked about like hearings and stuff, you can't have people saying the same things in hearings over and over time. I heard from a guy who told a guy that this guy, but I really like this guy and he tells me the truth. So this guy knows that this is there and there's alien bodies. It's like you can only do that once because you can go, okay, well, this guy worked somewhere too, but now where is that guy that saw this stuff? Let's talk to that guy on the next one in the same way that you can't keep showing this because
dude, it's intentional, dude, because we're not people best picture ever. Okay, render.
If this is real, it's
a render.
No, I know it is. What I'm saying, but if this would be a real image, right?
Exactly.
If this was the one that you lead with, this is the type of image,
right?
That should it be a real image? You're like, well, wait a minute.
Now we're still going to go AI,
right?
That will be the new goalpost. That
would be the first thing. Would be well, yes, prove that's not AI. Yeah. That would be it. This is obviously, as they said, a rendered image. But so actual site photo with FBI lab rendered graphic overlay depicting the eyewitness reports from September 2023. But let's say now that this is what people said that they saw. That's why they're doing this rendered image.
But why would they only? I'm sure they have more corroborating lab rendered graphics. Why not?
2023. No one took a picture of this. It's got to be video.
It's still look. Here's the thing. It's still wild to see this on a government website. That is still wild for me. I don't care what anybody says. Yes. Call me skeptical. I'm not saying I believe everything. I'm saying that the conversation happening in an official capacity is wild.
That was my earlier point. Yeah. My earlier point was that you would never,
or you're not old enough to remember the before times.
No, the idea that anyone's even talking about this in general, and they're covering it on news organizations is intriguing in general. So, okay, this is the one. So, archival imagery from the Apollo 17 mission to the moon. The yellow box contains in a large area of the original photo in which 3 lights are visible above the lunar terrain. So, I see those 3 lights. Now that's 1972.
Come on, bro. You know they got good moon shit.
That was the line of the whole episode.
They gotta have it, bro. I'm all in on moon stuff, you know.
You gotta have good footage. I think that this is this going back to kind of what we saw here. So
apparently there's video somewhere. I didn't.
All right, let me see. If I can
war.gov/UFO. Someone said.
Let me find the video, and then if I can find the video, I'll play the video that we have to, based on the tremendous interest shown, which directive. I'm looking down here.
Yeah, I think. Look, man. I think any opinion you want to have right now is valid.
Yeah.
I just think that here's the one thing, man. They're going nuts on everybody that say PR38 is insane. Page 10, PR38.
Right, PR38.
Yeah, page
Where
10.
the hell is that?
I don't know.
Page 38. Okay, this is
page 10, PR38. I don't know what that means.
I know what it means. Page 10, PR38. I see it. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna get to page 10.
The only thing we can say for certain is that it is, at least in my opinion, say what you will, it is at least fascinating to be at a time where this is being discussed broadly.
I see. I have it. I'll play it in a second. Okay, so this is what they say. This one's good.
Well, people are saying that go look at that one. I haven't seen that.
I'm gonna look at this one. All right, hold on. Hold on. Sorry, Peter. I'm sorry. All right, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I missed the jellyfish.
I know. What happened to the jellyfish?
I want the jellyfish to be talked about. All right, there we go.
This is the one that they're talking about. All right. Pushing.
Is it a video? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've seen stills of this one. It's cool.
I mean that one. Yeah. I mean that looks. That's pretty clear.
Pretty sick. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that? I mean
that's like those biblically accurate angels.
Yeah. I mean, that's the most clear out of an image that you see. Like that's pretty clear.
That almost bums me out.
Is that what that is? Look, it's got trails.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. Like now, you know what? I mean, look at the way that thing was moving.
Well, the trail is not helpful, isn't it? Because we're saying it doesn't have trails.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is by seeing those trails, you could make the argument that that's something else.
A drone or something.
Something else. But if it's in these files that they don't know what it is, I mean, that's pretty weird looking, whatever the hell that thing is. Totally.
It's definitely very like sci-fi-esque. It's just I mean, here's my opinion. How do you not see this image or this video and say we should talk about this today, world?
I know that's isn't that always, that's what you and I have been saying that for how long?
Yeah.
You know, that's the number one thing where, look, as I tried to show that video before, there are a few different outlets that are covering this. There are a few, right? But it should be, and maybe the intent of what the government wanted to do was say, okay, look, these files came out. I'll go to the major sites. I'll go to, well, Fox, I think already had it. So let's I'm gonna look at the websites.
Yeah. And I see that a comment, a Soul Stylist Jukebox says this stuff kind of scares me. Hey man, I don't blame you. I got to fly a lot for work this year, and I keep thinking, I hope those Ashton Forbes orbs aren't real, bro. I don't want to get zapped somewhere.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Right, so let's see. Okay, so Fox News, it's the number one story when you go to foxnews.com.
Okay.
And it is the number one story out there. It says,
well, that tracks, right? Like if you're the administration friendly news site and you want to make that the
that one up first, right? So bring it up.
But okay, fair.
CNN.
Okay.
Nowhere to be found.
Okay.
So let's see.
That's also weird.
No, not true.
Okay.
Not true. It's there. It's on the bottom left. Pentagon releases never before seen. It's not the top story.
You have to scroll down
to the top left.
But did you have to scroll?
Let's just bring it up on.
Because I've learned something about websites.
Yeah.
Where if you place something below a scroll line, you're not prioritizing it.
Yeah. So let me show you. I'm gonna bring it up. So I'll bring up Fox first, and then bring up CNN. All right, let's see. So, and we'll go to a bunch of different news organizations. You can guarantee you that News Nation has it on number one. So okay, so this is Fox, and that's the number one story for Fox.
Okay.
So now let's bring up CNN. And CNN is Epstein and Iran, and then UFOs on the bottom left there.
Okay, not the worst.
That's not bad.
Still weird, but okay.
Still weird, but it's still there.
I feel like you give it at least an hour at the top.
Yeah. How about MSNBC? Let's see. Nope.
But kudos to them for still talking Epstein. I appreciate that.
Is it not MSNBC anymore? What is it? MSN. What was MSNBC? Is that one not? The hell is it? NBC.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know. Maybe that's okay. There we go. So
this is the photo I need, but with an alien.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Pope, Rubio, that little statue could be an alien.
Now we're talking. The News Nation. Okay. News Nation. First one.
Okay. Oh yeah, of course.
This guy stinks. This Leland guy. He's
anybody who makes a smoldering face.
Yeah, he stinks.
By the way, they added color to the render. We didn't need that. We got it.
We didn't need that. That's a historic UFO collection. Okay, so some of these are covering it. I mean, they're all covering it, but they're not covering it on the top. But that goes back to your earlier point, right? Yeah. Where it's like, okay, this is where we need these things they got to be covered here. They got to be covered in general. And the conversation is now not 5 years ago and no one would touch this thing with a 10-foot pole. Now it's let's talk about it. And because it's on the front page of all those ones that I talked about, both sides of the aisle are going to be looking at it and having a conversation about it. What was somebody say?
No, I'm just looking. The last two comments is exactly what I was thinking. Windows Vista looks like a Windows 95. Yeah, it does. That's exactly what I thought.
It did. It did. Absolutely did.
But yeah, look, now at least the conversation baseline can now be, what is this that the government's talking about, that like people are discussing? Like, it's no longer like you have to go to some dark website to think it's, you know what I mean? Like, it just moves the needle somewhat. Yeah. I'm not saying it's everything we want, clearly.
No, it needs, look, this, what it does, even for the skeptics that are like, even in this chat, right? The skeptics, I think, are going to say, okay, listen, I believe none of this. And somebody say nobody buys any of this. Stop with the definitive statements. You don't believe it, which is fine. You don't know what anybody else believes, because I don't think there's enough information in there yet to say the thing that I think is the biggest win here for everyone is that people are talking about this and they're releasing stuff. But as I mentioned, you cannot do this again in the same way that I went from being a big advocate to the public hearings to saying, please stop doing them because they're doing nothing. Right? Because the first one, it was Grush, Graves, Fravor, getting that conversation moving on. Wait a minute, what is it? It had as much impact as that 2017 New York Times article, right? The 2024 one was a joke, and it was Nancy Mace walking around with pictures of aliens in the background. It was turning into a circus, and it had nobody of note there. Then the last one was okay. I shouldn't say they didn't have no one at note on the package.
No, I know what you mean, though.
I think Gallaudet was on the 2024 one, but he's had said stuff that, you know,
it's not moving the needle. It's moving the needle. If you look at 2017, the article that came out that kickstarted everything again, right?
Yeah.
It's weird to say we're 9 years out and this is only as far as we've gotten in a way, because you'd say, okay, we're still, have we moved forward? Yeah, we moved forward, but 9 years forward?
No. And look at what, and this is the kind of comment that I applaud, and I agree. Yeah. No, there is not.
Nothing.
100% no. There's no smoking in the sleep. But as they prepped you for this yesterday, I was not expecting one today.
That's true. No, I was not. And everybody, like Grush said it, Burchett said it, Luna said it. Everyone said it.
Bell said it yesterday too.
Yeah. So we're starting it, which, gotta be honest with you, kind of annoying. This would have been better if it had no lead up.
I don't know about that.
No,
I don't know about that. I think that for us that might be the case, because
fair. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're you more than me. You
more than me. You're doing this thing every day now. You kidding me?
But dude, you've been
you got an alien statue in your house. Look at you.
You gave it to me. But nonetheless, you know, for us, it's like, well, where's the juice?
No. Yeah.
And for people, again, think about how you and I didn't really give a shit about age of disclosure, right?
No, but you're right. It is exactly.
Age of disclosure was one of the most important things that has come out, and I still have watched bits and pieces. because I knew all the information that was already there. It was stuff that you and I talked about years beforehand.
Mhm.
That most
I paid to watch it.
yeah, but there was nothing in there.
No.
There was nothing in there that we hadn't that James Fox hadn't covered before, or that anybody else hadn't covered. It was all stuff. It was all stuff that was covered before and said before. But the importance of it was that Dan Farah is a big dude who, you know, is connected in the Hollywood industry that could get the word out there. And because of it, now Bill Maher is all in, and everybody else there who has seen this is all in. People that I know, friends of mine that again, in the way that I found that documentary on National Geographic, my friend John and my friend James both found that and said, "Oh, wait a minute, my eyes are opening now." And I was like, they had the same, whatever it was for you, age of disclosure was for them, and age of disclosure had that effect on a lot of people that were outside of, let's say, the Matrix.
Yeah. The last beat that I'm contemplating in my head for in the near future, I have to say it is the Spielberg movie, and I don't think that is random, guys. I really don't
either.
You know, you don't make a movie 30 years ago with the head of Blue Book in it.
30, probably like 50, dude.
Is that how long?
Close Encounters was dude. We're so the 30s.
I know.
30 years ago was in the 90s, homie.
Ah, geez, yeah, you're right. My bad. Yeah. Look how old. I mean, I see myself on the screen. What a disaster! But I've hit a wall, man. I used to be something, but yeah. So like, I think that you're this close to Disclosure Day. You're not going to lean on that. Dude, I hate to say it because I don't know if that makes me believe more or less, but I do think this is going to fold into a PR campaign for the movie. I hate to say it.
Well, I don't, but no, you know what? I don't hate to say it. I think that's good. I think that's important because I think that's the PR machine that, look, we get our information today, most people from TikTok and Instagram and YouTube. And when most people didn't even know that UAP hearings were going on.
That's a good point.
And they'll know if things go viral of Steven Spielberg talking about disclosure and aliens and files, that will come out and pop because some influencer will ask him on the trail and it'll pop up on the trail to Universal promoting the movie.
Isn't it crazy that nothing has leaked from that movie in a substantial way? Like, you got Doomsday leaks every 5 seconds. You got Spider-Man leaks everywhere. But Disclosure Day, pretty locked down.
Yeah, Mick West is in the chat.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is. Look.
Oh, is that him? This is all BS. Mick, jump on here. Let's talk a little bit. What is it? Don't just scream from the chat. Get in here.
I know it. I got my grandfather. He knows. He knows it. I know it. It's all BS. That's definitive. Sign it. Stop talking about it. It's like, what do you know? You don't know shit.
Quiet. If you're the kind of person that wants to be like brushing everything up, like I actually think that's the wrong approach for even your point of view if you're that person, because you just locked yourself into a spot that's easy to, like, you know, disprove. You know, there's clearly an opportunity you know, for you to be disproven, saying it's all BS.
Yeah, right. You and I have talked about this again too. This very well could be technology that we've had for many, many years that we've been working on. This could be technology from other countries. This could be a lot of different things. The thing is, there is information and there are things that have happened that have been buried and then have been lied about. And then, oh, no, what we meant was this. Those things need to be exposed. You guys don't think that the scientist missing and going and dying and being taken out is bizarre?
It's weird. Even if that is BS, even if that story is BS, let's just go with it, right? Let's just say it's BS. Yeah. That's crazy in and of itself, you guys.
Right.
Like, if all this is BS, all these photos and videos, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's why this is a story, no matter how you slice it.
Yeah.
Because either it is legitimate and it's being misinterpreted, or it's legitimate on its face, or it's all BS and it's being delivered to us by the feeding tubes we all use for information.
And that's the other thing.
There's no way this is not a story, dude.
No, and I can't remember who it was who said this thing to it. It was various people have said this, but the amount of people, look at like a Tim Gallaudet, a former Rear Admiral, you know, all these Ryan Graves, other people that are not just politicians and other things too. There are other people that have worked at facilities and military and others that have said these things. All of these people are what? part of the conspiracy crazy for making all this stuff up, and then you have a narrative throughout the last, like, what, 70, 80 years? So, and if so, how and why? That should be
exactly. Even if you say, yeah, exactly. Even if you can prove somehow that this whole thing is a decades-long psyop where legitimate people with credible backgrounds have all been psyoped, okay, that is still crazy, and that is still worth covering. And even if you have to go through the UAP UFO disclosure movement to prove how deeply corrupt the information warfare has been in this country, that's still huge news.
Yeah. So someone's crying for something. They released thousands of new documents. You guys aren't looking at it. We looked at a lot of it already.
Thousands?
Yeah. Let's look at thousands. We'll be here until 2087.
Yeah, guys. If it listen, do you know what channel you're watching? There's two schlubs here in their garage. Yeah, like we're just talking that. Hey, it happened. We're looking at the cool stuff, the pictures. Right. You know, we read. I think we read.
Two of my good friends on this in this space, both Pavel and Vede.
Pavel's going to go through it, bro.
They're going to be covering it, and to extension with all that stuff. We cover this in the way that we want people who are just at a coffee shop right now, never hearing about it.
Right.
So take your crying, laughing emoji, stick it in your asshole.
Yeah, Kristian's gonna go talk about Daredevil in half an hour. What do you want? Like, we're just relax.
All these documents.
I got the documents.
I'm laughing. Oh, which one should I use? I have all these different emojis to use. I'm gonna use this one. Spin it around in your asshole.
Hey, you need everybody, bro. Believe me, we're the guys who will talk to your uncle. I guess you're the ones. You're a detective. You got it all figured out.
Yeah, we're a bunch of. You're the best. You're the best.
You're the best.
You got it. You know what? You figured it out. You went through, you spent all that time. You're in your underoos, just laughing, your tits off, sitting around, eating cereal, going, I just spent all this time going through each and every document, and these guys didn't cover it. Which is the emoji?
By the way, that's the person. The aliens are not going to want to hang out with you.
Use an alien emoji, that hump.
The aliens are going to want to hang out with us.
Right.
Okay. They're not reading documents. They want to hang out, grab a beer, have a slice.
Yeah, it was so funny. Like, you run into the wrong channel, guys. Would you this is you didn't run it. I'm not on the news. I'm not on the news. This is the news. Anyway, you know what we should do? We should actually go through the whole files.
Oh my god, I'll fall asleep on stream.
I know there's so much, but there's other things that will keep coming.
It's going to be, hey, this is the beginning of a week of top. You'll see it's going to be all over YouTube for a week. And hopefully next Friday we get another drop and we do it again.
Came to the wrong channel, pal.
No, that's not, dude.
The wrong channel.
Dude. Yeah. You made a left turn in Albuquerque.
Unsubscribe.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is I really think that you got a week's worth of discussion on this. You got so many different people who are going to be talking about it. Like you said, I'm going to be watching Pavel. Watching UAP Twitter and seeing what comes out of it. That is the cool thing, that there might be layers to this. Same thing happened with Epstein. Epstein day one, you didn't even see all the craziest stuff. It was like days and days before you saw layers. So maybe that's an optimistic viewpoint.
And that's why I brought up the Luna thing, right? Because she said she's running. Look, this is the other thing that I made a point of 1,000 times over and will continue to do so. Whatever topic it might be that a politician grabs onto in their career, there's a particular topic that makes them right. There's a topic that shines a light that they were in obscurity and now people know who they are
in an election year, no less.
Right. Tim Burchett, Luna,
Burchett, by the way, he made a big point.
Moskowitz, what's his face, Burleson, Garcia, they have all made their names, or at least gotten more and more people know who they were because of their voices in the UAP topic, right? Luna especially. Now, I'm not telling, and Burleson as well, and I'm not telling you that they're not passionate about the subject. I believe that they are.
Yeah.
But they also know that they have a group of people now that are riding with them to say, if you make this happen, we got your back. Right. That's what's going to happen, because they made sure that they found a very passionate group of people. And so that person who said that to her, like, look, you're going to hurt your career if there's nothing that comes out of this thing. I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, I see Mythosaur's comment, Luna's loony, careful with that one. I in my opinion, if you run for office, you're out of your mind.
Yeah. No,
Like, who wants that life? So I already start from that point. I'm just saying, which one of these wild people are going to give us something to chew on here?
This is another like it's today is point the comments at the imbeciles.
Yeah.
Because like this, you're an imbecile.
Bro, come on. You never even watched
you even watched our show before.
You didn't even watch the beginning of the stream. I'm literally saying that, like, you could come on.
Like for me, I can't stand the left. I can't stand the right. They're all
if you're in a group, if you're look, dude, Kristian, you're much older than I am, but you know,
not with that beard.
No, I know. But I was gonna say, there was a time where it was like anathema to associate with a group of people, man. Like you don't hit your trailer to just random groups of people. To me, it's a weird thing to do. I'm more interested in going with people who are consistent or honest, or like, even if people I don't agree with, I want to hear their takes on things because it challenges how I think of things. If I think they're like legitimate people and sincere in their motivation. So I don't give a shit about any of that. I just want to see where this goes. I always go back to the George Carlin quote. They ask him, "Hey George, you're always talking about politics and global events. How do you stay so positive and light?" He's like, "Hey man." And someone just wrote it. Trank 3D 465 says, "Hey man, it's a freak show." And I just think I got front row seats to enjoy the freak show.
100%. This is the other thing too. People who are trying to make this political are dopes, because the whole this topic, now that's including the government, because it's political. And the thing is, it shouldn't be, because in the overall grand scheme of things, this is the most bipartisan thing that you can ever even imagine. And that's why that 2023 hearing was so incredible, because it was the only thing that I had seen that everybody was working together, like we talked about, AOC and freaking Matt Gaetz together, working together to find out information. It was like back and forth, like they were working together, and it was insane. You never see shit like that. So when people ask dumb things about, like, for me, I don't like to, I hate politics. I hate it. I hate politicians. I think they're liars. I think you can't believe any of them. I think the left's full of shit. I think the right's full of shit. I think that, they don't care about you. They don't give a shit about you. Like I said, even with this topic, they want you, as Peter said, they want you to be on board with them so you'll eventually vote for them. Yeah. They don't care about you, and they don't give a shit about you, but it doesn't mean you can't use them to get information.
Exactly. You're in the matrix, right? Like, you got to use the tools of the matrix to get out of the matrix. Like, that's the lesson we learned from those movies. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it, Kristian. I think it's a great day because it starts a conversation. I don't think you put the genie back in the bottle, to use that expression, at this point. And so it's either going to be a conversation about like pointed at like the representatives you just mentioned, Luna, Burleson, et cetera, Birch. It's like, that's what you guys fought for, these 10 videos that look like everything else we've seen. Or it's going to be a conversation about like, okay, we're starting off here. Did you see that stuff? We're going to turn up the heat a little bit. You ready? Okay, boom. Either way, dude, I'm down to watch this come together and see where it goes.
Me too. We'll wrap this in a second, too. I wanted to ask you, because this is a great comment. I wonder if there's more videos in Miami.
Dude, can I tell you something about this?
Because we talked real quick. You and I talked about this. We went through so many different phases of that thing.
Yes, dude.
That was the one that turned our brain around from saying, because you and I just immediately dismissed it when it came.
Yes. And I'll tell you why, because Miami people are full of shit. And I'm from here. I tell you.
Yeah, he's from it. That's why he said that. Yeah. So, but the thing is, what I've decided from that is, in the same way that I tell people this, I don't know. I have no answers. Because I wasn't there, and I'm talking about anything. I don't just shun people away and say you're wrong right away when it comes to this. If you say I don't believe any of this stuff, because I can't tell you you're wrong, because I don't know. But if it's the definitive stuff to me now that I won't do anymore in the way that I did for that Miami Mall thing. But do you think what if something comes out in the files?
I'll give you another one. The Miami Mall isn't even the juiciest one that I keep thinking about all the time. The one that I keep thinking about all the time is that kid who had the cops go to his backyard with his family. Said he's that to me. Guys, that one's fascinating. Has a lot of good pieces to the puzzle, and just no one talks about it anymore.
What about Virginia?
Come on. Varginha is a nice quarter pounder with cheese there. There's a lot to chew on. But I'm talking about I'll tell you about the Miami Mall one.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I don't remember if I ever spoke to you this about this or not. I have a buddy who is like really, really high up in the Miami Police Department.
Okay.
He's also, I've known him for decades.
Okay.
Right. And he's a good guy, you know, the kind of guy that gets into the force and like immediately goes, holy shit, like there's a lot of corruption in here, that kind of thing. Right. So a good one. Immediately I call him, I go, bro, what happened there, dude? I don't need you to tell me like what happened alien wise, but why were there 500 cars and it's not really a story? Yeah. And he immediately goes into the like, try to do a quick joke that like, oh, you thought it was an alien type of thing. And then I can't get him to talk about it anymore. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. It's weird. I'm not saying anything. I also think I'll say this. This might be a blanket statement, but I don't think a lot of the kids in Miami are that creative. Like the story they came up with was pretty great. Yeah. And so, but I don't know, man. I don't know what to say anymore. I'm at this point in my life where, like you, Kristian, I don't just dismiss things on face value. I'm interested. I want to hear things. I think we're in a world where if something really does happen, there'll be grifters to try to make money off a real thing. Sure. And I also think if something doesn't happen, there will be grifters try to make money off of that real thing. But what are we going to do? Throw the baby out with the bathwater every time?
Well, there's a lot more to be said on this one. I'm sure you and I, if there's more, when these files drop like this, we can do this.
We'll do file drops. Yeah, we'll do a little morning. Yeah, and we'll get early in front of all the other YouTubers. We'll beat them all because we're on the East Coast.
It's hilarious, but I don't.
And it is a competition, okay? And it is. And we'll set the tone.
It is not. Yeah. No, but what we can do though, for sure, is when this happens again. And hopefully it happens because they said it within the weeks, right? It's going to happen. Yeah. So we can do it again. We'll jump on. We'll see if there's anything in there.
Are we getting red carpet to Disclosure Day?
No, you know what is funny is that, oh, you know what? Here's the other thing. This is hilarious too. That is the history. I've never banned a super chat in my life.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna put the super chat more money, if you're gonna,
I just banned a super chat. Comic Lover, I've never done it before. It was the first I've ever done that. Comic Lover at Night, Peter, welcome back. You sack of wrong place.
Thanks, Dad.
On the new show. And then Wiley sending support. Thank you, Wiley. So there we go.
That's funny.
Okay, listen. Thank you guys for being here. Peter, where can the people find you if they want to find out
I'm online everywhere at Attack Peter. Yeah, I just dropped a new cover for Godzilla the Odyssey from IDW, a comic book. If you're into that kind of stuff, I'm dropping it. But you can find me anywhere online at Attack Peter. I do a lot of artwork and prints and figures and stuff like that. So
thank you for Peter for being here. Thank you guys for being here. And for 97% of you, thank you for being classy and fun when we talk about this stuff. And appreciate you guys asking questions. Continue to ask questions. That's the most important thing. So once again, thanks again. Apple Podcast, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. Both channels, both Down to Earth and the Kristian Harloff Show. Appreciate you guys. See you soon.